Nicholas Wade was formerly a staff writer for the Science Times section of the New York Times. He is also an author, who most recently has written the controversial book, A Troublesome Inheritance, Genes, Race and Human History that has been widely criticized by scientists. Biography: Wade was born in Aylesbury, England and educated at Eton College. He is the grandson of teacher and author Lawrence Beasley, a survivor of RMS Titanic. He earned a BA and an MA from King's College, Cambridge in 1960 and 1963. Wade emigrated to the U.S. in 1970. Wade has been a science writer and editor for the journals Nature, from 1967 to 1971, and Science, from 1972 to 1982. He joined the New York Times in 1982 and retired in 2012 but freelances occasionally for his former employer. He had been an editorial writer covering science, environment and defense, and then an editor of the science section. Two of his books deal with less savory aspects of scientific research. His 1980 book, The Nobel Duel, Two Scientists' 21-Year Race to Win the World's Most Coveted Research Prize, described the competition between Andrew Shawley and Roger Guillemin, whose discoveries regarding the peptide hormone led to them sharing the 1977 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. According to the Washington Post Book World, it may be the most unflattering description of scientists ever written. Betrayers of the Truth, Fraud and Deceit in the Halls of Science, co-authored with William J. Broad, discusses historical and contemporary examples of scientific fraud. His A Troublesome Inheritance, Genes, Race and Human History was criticized in the New York Times Book Review of Sunday, July 13. David Dobbs wrote that it was a deeply flawed, deceptive, and dangerous book with pernicious conceits. However, Edward O. Wilson of Harvard University says of the book, Nicholas Wade combines the virtues of truth without fear and the celebration of genetic diversity as a strength of humanity, thereby creating a forum appropriate to the 21st century. And as Shutosh Galka of Scientific American wrote, extremely well researched, thoughtfully written and objectively argued. The real lesson of the book should not be lost on us. A scientific topic cannot be declared off limits or whitewashed because its findings can be socially or politically incendiary. Some biologists, however, categorically dismissed his view of race in a joint letter published in the New York Times on August 8, 2014. Wade juxtaposes an incomplete and inaccurate account of our research on human genetic differences with speculation that recent natural selection has led to worldwide differences in IQ test results, political institutions and economic development. We reject Wade's unregistered trademark's implication that our findings substantiate his guesswork. Nonetheless, Wade replied, I make no such statement. To the contrary, my book explicitly takes no position on the cause of racial differences in IQ results, given the difficulty of assessing the many factors other than genetics that heavily influence IQ scores. I find it hard to see how any reader of the book could have missed this point, and can only assume that the organizers of the biologists' unregistered trademark letter induced many signatories to condemn a book they had not read. Other books by Wade include Before the Dawn, Recovering the Lost History of Our Ancestors, about human evolution, and The Faith Instinct, about the evolution of religious behavior. Wade has criticized anthropology, particularly cultural anthropology, as lacking in scientific rigor, saying in a 2007 lecture, that cultural anthropologists should become trained in genetics. In a review of a book by Napoleon Chafnon, he criticized the American Anthropological Association for its treatment of Chafnon. References: ABCDE Nicholas Wade. Contemporary authors online. Detroit, Gale, 2011. Biography in Context. Web, July 8, 2014. Amos S.D. The Bookshelf Talks with Nicholas Wade. American Scientist. Jitchia J. Turning the Tablets an interview with Nicholas Wade. Plo S. Jeanette 1, 3, E45, Michael Hilsick. Racism, the Misuse of Genetics and a Huge Scientific Protest. Los Angeles Times. http The Penguin Press, Troublesome Inheritance, Genes, Race and Human History / http Blog Scientific American Com 201413, Wade, Nicholas. As hundreds of men perished, one ignored a rumor to survive. New York Times. Retrieved July 10, 2014. Nicholas Wade interview A Troublesome Inheritance, Genes, Race and Human History. Luke Ford May 11, 2014. Retrieved July 10, 2014. 1, 2, 4. Eric Michael Johnson on the Origin of White Power Scientific American, 3. External links, New York Times page.